Hello and welcome to my comic book reaction. I'm just doing it solo this time for Solicitations to June 2023. Um, this is the last Solicitations before the Night Terrors event is supposed to happen. So they have a lot of series, 4 different series, all ending. Um, and sadly, 2 of those series are books that I buy and really like or love actually. So this will be a sad stream, but hope you enjoy what we go through. We have here the cover. I think I'm going to try and go through just with the DC Connect this time. I really appreciate that DC Connect has been out pretty consistently on time, so I don't have to just use solicitations. You can see how DC actually formats their stuff. And in this case, it's actually really important news because it gives a lot of interesting uh, extra details that sometimes don't make it to the press releases they give to other comics, other sites. So obviously here, what they're advertising is the Flash number 800 and Wonder Woman number 800. Both of these are obviously huge milestones. They're also the endings of these particular runs. These are 2 of the 4 runs that are ending. Now, technically, the Flash and Wonder Woman are not really ending, but these runs are ending, and they're getting brand new creative teams. And I believe they're going to be calling them number ones, and they're going to have like a little parentheses with the 801. But we shall see. I'm glad they're giving them promotion. A lot of people keep complaining, oh, there's so much Batman. I'm like, yes, there's a lot of Batman, but I feel like DC has been pushing a lot of other characters in reasonably smart ways. So, what else is being advertised? We have, let's see if I can get the formatting right. Gonna Okay, so we have the Penguin, and that's going to be the new Tom King series. And they're doing a very interesting thing of trying to promote this because Tom King's actually working in continuity on 2 series, both Wonder Woman and Penguin. They're both ongoing, not miniseries again. Um, and Penguin is actually spinning out of the Chip Zdarsky story that he wrote with Penguin for the Failsafe arc and the backup. And they're actually publishing the 3 issues of the backup as the Penguin number 0. Similar to how they advertise the Sword of Azrael miniseries with the Urban Legends Azrael story all put together. Um, and the Tim Drake series got the Tim Drake Pride special. So they've taken these short stories and they're putting them together into standalone issues to sort of promote another series. Also double dip so you can get money out of it again. But honestly, that's not a bad idea. They're also doing the Steelworks, which they announced. They're doing Harley Quinn Pride cover and Milestone. So those are some interesting choices for what they're highlighting. Lazarus Planet Collection, Detective Comics Collection, and Blue Beetle Round Robin Collection. Interestingly, even though it doesn't seem like anyone's talking about that Blue Beetle book, unfortunately. Maybe it's just because I tried it and I really didn't like it. I wanted to like it, but I wasn't feeling it. So here we have Batman 136. Chip Zdarsky is continuing, and this is the last issue before, I believe, the Night Terrors starts. And I don't know if Chip Zdarsky is going to be working on Night Terrors or not, but we have it looks like Batman is going to be back in main continuity. It says the future of the Bat books is starting, so hopefully Zdarsky is going to be back on track. He started out his first 6 issues really connecting to other books, especially Catwoman. Now, unfortunately, I don't like the Catwoman book, but it was really well constructed. So hopefully he'll get back to that. He's been in an alternate universe for such a long time. This cover by Jorge Jimenez is Jimenez continues to do covers. But the interior is going to be by Balin Ortega, interestingly. And that Balin Ortega worked with Zdarsky on that Catwoman story that's going to be republished as Penguin number 0. Let's see, what other... We've got our... Let me we zoom in more and see those variants. We've got our, a lot of these are in black and white, indicating that the editors are behind, but at least they're mostly up instead of completely missing. Got Joe Quesada, who's doing a lot of variants, Gabriel Delato, 1 in 25 variant, an art germ variant, and a foil version of that variant. I hope that's not actually that color. Now we have the Penguin, as I was saying, and this is the promotional Penguin number 0 with a new cover. I appreciate that they gave it a new cover. Catwoman and the character, the Executor, I want to say. Maybe it's Executor, but he's the legal robot dude, and he's pretty cool. I don't like this Nathan Zerdy variant, but I just don't really like Nathan Zerdy. He feels like a discount Derek Chu or Art Germ, but his figure work doesn't seem as strong, and his character textures just feel a lot more plastic. Now, that you may think that Derek Chu and Art Germ feel very plastic, but I feel like Zerdy is even more so. Main artists are Stefano Gaudiano and Scorpio Steel. I don't know if that means there's an inker, but it does say the art and cover, so I would guess Scorpio Steel is probably the inker. But this will be interesting. King did some good stuff and some terrible stuff with Penguin in his Batman run. Honestly, the pitch for this sounds like the Penguin One Bad Day they did by John Ridley, interestingly, not by Tom King. So we'll have to see if that works. The David Marquez variant cover indicates that Nura Espinoza from the Killing Time miniseries is probably going to be part of this this ongoing series. Now we have Batman the Brave and the Bold, which, in my opinion, is just Urban Legends Part 2, Even Dumber. I'm sorry, that was a little too negative. They are putting good creative teams on this book. I just don't like the pitches or the concept of this book at all anymore. I'd rather they go back to Batman Chronicles, which were quarterly anthology books, had 3 tales. They were all the same size, and it was a much more reasonable price. Instead, this is an $8 book, and they've got 2 full-size stories of 20 pages and 2 half-size stories of 10 pages, and I think that's too much, and they don't matter. Well, okay, again, it's not fair for me to say they don't matter because they actually launched a ton of books or miniseries out of Urban Legends. I just think that except for the books they launched, and even about half of the books they launched, like the Wildcats, I found it a real slog to read. Poison Ivy continues. I'm still not reading that book, so I don't have anything to say. Nightwing continues. I really wish the stories were better in this book because the ideas, like they did all in one, like every page sort of was it was all continuing art, and that was a cool experimental thing, but the story itself was really boring. And then this one's going to be like first person, so you are Dick Grayson. Also really interesting. I expect the story is going to continue here. So I've got a comment from Clone Geek. My personal perspective on Tom King is that I think 50% of what he does is awesome and 50% of what he does is terrible. Sometimes it's on the same book, sometimes it's all one book, and sometimes it's all the other book. I'll talk more about that when I get to Wonder Woman. Catwoman, unfortunately, continues. I have to write reviews for this. Joker Uncovered is like covers from the Joker, I believe. And I don't like Joker, and I don't like the cover art they do for him because it's so violent and grotesque. And I prefer pretty images, which, you know, it's not everything has to be the same kind of thing. But Superman number 5 continues. That's a really cool main cover, I think. I think that's the main cover. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, that's price 14. That's his signature for Jamal Campbell. The first issue of Superman was awesome. It didn't quite convince me to keep buying it, but I will keep checking it out. Action Comics continues. I really like the fact that even though they have Batman first, they're really pushing Superman as well. Um, I am also really happy to see that Dan Jurgens and Lee Weeks are still solicited as doing their backup. I'm really enjoying that. That's honestly why I'm buying Action right now, and I appreciate that Action is, how much are they charging? Yes, it's still $5, even though they have 2 backups on it. So it's actually 40 pages instead of 30 pages, but they're still keeping it 40 at $5. So really good deal, especially if you're enjoying what they're doing. They're doing swimsuit variants again, and since I bought the Supergirl Superman swimsuit variant last year, I am hoping to get the swimsuit variant by Otto Schmidt this year. I've been getting mostly variants. I'm planning to get some of the workout variants by David Tulaski. I'm getting mostly the Lee Weeks covers. I'm going to get a Rafa Sandoval variant. But this, I just think that the swimsuit variants are funny, and this one's not really pervy. So sometimes they feel either really pervy or really gross. Donner DC's oh man, this cover for Superman Man of Tomorrow looks amazing. That's so much great energy. And that is the Ortiz variant. Yeah, that's the Ortiz variant cover. They might have the main cover on the other one. Let's see. Superboy Man of no, they don't. So they don't actually have the main cover available. I voted for this in round robin. I'm hoping to pick it up. I'm hoping I enjoy this because I really fell in love with Superboy in Death of Superman, the radio drama, actually. Adventures of Superman, John Kent. Oh, that's a great David Mack cover. I think it's David Mack. Is it? No, I think that's, yeah, it's Zoo or Zoo. I don't recognize that, but that's a great variant cover. But I'm not reading that book. Steelworks, written by Worf. Not even kidding. Written by Worf. That's hilarious. I'm actually kind of excited to see how that goes. We got Clone Geek saying Brave and the Bold should have been like original run in the 70s, do one and done stories. Yes, although I think that they should do original stories highlighting lesser characters teaming up with bigger characters, because I think that's the best way to use that Brave and the Bold team up format. So instead of just doing a bunch of stories about people nobody knows about, you have people nobody knows about teaming up with people everybody knows about and sort of highlighting the best of each character. And Sammy Basri is doing Steelworks. I love Sammy Basri's art. I'm really glad he's getting a good book. Well, what hopes do we have? We got Shazam continuing, Green Lantern continuing. So Jeremy Adams is getting kicked off of The Flash, but he's going on to Green Lantern, and I'm very excited. I really like this main cover by Germanico. And I'm really excited to realize that Montos is doing the art for the John Stewart backup. Now, Montos is an artist who's been working a lot with Christopher Priest. He did this sort of heavy metal story that was supposed to be like an ongoing or miniseries, but it only had one oversized issue. Art was fantastic, but then he did about half of the most recent Black Adam book, and I looked at that and I was like, this stands out. This art is great. It's sort of like grittier than Rafa Sandoval, but same kind of really appealing look to it. Basically, really good DC House style, but in a way that made me sit up and pay attention. And so I'm really glad that he's going to be in this Green Lantern book that I'm going to be buying. Green Arrow #3, still looking exciting. A lot of promotion with Peacemaker and Peace Wrecker. I don't understand why they're doing that unless that is the plot, like the main antagonist. And I really hope that they do something with Liam. I guess it depends on if you count Howlin' Pals. I'm a Green Lantern and Flash noob, so I don't really know. But Howlin' Pals was like a Hal book with a bunch of other characters. Doom Patrol continues to be Doom Patrol. Harley Quinn is unfortunately Teeny Howard. I really like this cover by Sweeney Boo. I'm really... Spirit World is where Cassandra Cain's going now that Batgirls is over. City Boy and The Vigil. This is all the We Are Legends Asian miniseries. Vigil is the only one I'm really interested in because I really like Ram V. But we'll have to see. Titans continues. Cyborg continues, and here we go with Flash. And we've got 9 variant covers plus the main cover. I am really struggling here. So they say absolutely nothing about the actual story of the Flash. I love this main cover because it's Taran Clark, and he's been doing a lot of the main covers of the run itself, so it feels connected, and it has Wally and his family, which is why I love this book. But we also have Wally and his family in the Otto Schmidt cover with Wally and Linda. Linda's racing around him, which is hilarious and sweet. And makes me wonder if Linda is going to keep her superpowers after she gives birth, which I think is happening like 3 issues before this. You also have Linda and Linda, Wally, Jay, and Ira in the foil variant cover by Francis Manapul, it looks like, which is very exciting. I do love Francis Manapul, and I love that. If my shop gets that foil cover and it looks like it's open to order, just a bit more expensive, I'm probably going to have to get that because I love a foil cover and I love the Flash family. The Simone DeMeo variant cover, part of me is almost saying I need to buy more than one cover of this book. Part of me also thinks I should just buy the last trade of this book where I'll get all the other covers. So many good covers. You're also going to get a preview. So you get a look back at Mark Waid and Josh Williamson and Jeff Johns' Flash books. Says it's 48 pages. So this is going to be stuffed. I hope they're going to allow Jeremy Adams to have the main story of 20 pages, and then they'll have 28 pages for the other 3. Yeah, that actually would work pretty well. You have 1 8-pager, 2 10-pagers, and 1 20-pager. If they're all actual pages. We'll have to see. This is only a $5 comic, so it might actually be... Yeah, we'll have to see. But I'm hoping it's 20, 10, 10, and 8. Yes. Wonder Woman, also getting a celebration. This is also listed as 48 pages, but it's a $6 comic. Variants are $7. I am not sure if I'm going to buy this. The swimsuit variant doesn't quite work for me because Wonder Woman looks a little too, I don't know, noodly, like noodle-armed. I like it. I like what Daniel Sampere is doing better on the cover, and Yannick Paquette. They have like a really like thick-armed, thick-legged Wonder Woman. She looks really powerful. Wonderful. A lot of good covers for this one. I haven't been reading this run, so I don't know if I'll buy it, but I am tempted just to get a taste of what Tom King and Daniel Sampere is doing and find out how Clunan and Conrad wrap up their run. We've got DC Pride. Interesting little cover with Gabriel Piccolo from doing the Teen Titans. More Pride. This is so some people were sad that they weren't doing a facsimile. I think this is what they're doing for their facsimile. They're doing a Batwoman, Pied Piper, and Supergirl story, like reprint anthology plus a new story with Alan Scott, saying it's going to be his next great adventure as Green Lantern, meaning maybe he's going to get the backup to Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern run. Batman Incorporated continues. Very excited about this. John Timms is back on. I'm actually excited because I found I'm going to be able to see John Timms and get him to sign some of my Young Justice and my Batman Annual, where he started off this Batman Incorporated run. He's really impressed me with his art here. I actually really used to dislike John Timms, but this Batman Incorporated run has blown me away with how good his art is. Tim Drake Robin. This is why I'm doing this on the DC Connect, because you can see it says series finale of Tim Drake Robin, and it has a 2-sentence solicitation. This is weird. This series is really ending with a whimper. Even though they have such a good artist, Nicola Chismeka, I love his art. I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, but that art is great in the Azrael miniseries that he did with Dan Waters. And I feel like it's just going to be wasted on this Tim Drake book. Peacemaker. I feel like they were originally going to do the Peacemaker season 2. That I believe was because of Earth 2 and Jeff Johns. No, it was James Tynion. James Tynion wanted to continue what Tom Taylor did by making Alan Scott gay. And Tom Taylor said that we were making Alan Scott gay because his son was gay, but he doesn't have a son anymore. I'm like, that's not how things work. That's a really dumb excuse. But I will say that James Tynan's reasoning makes sense for why he made him gay. I do miss. I kind of wish they made him bi, because I really liked. Well, and this is completely pointless. I really liked his romance from the Golden Age, Irene Miller, which only appears in a prose novel by Michael Ahn in Green Lantern Sleepers Volume 2. So I have no real place to talk about Alan Scott, but I do have that feeling. Reprints and Sandman stuff, Riddler Year One. We've got Generation Joker. Merc and Dolpha art. That'll be exciting. Milestone, Lazarus Planet trade. So these are all stuff I'm not reading. More trades. Trades. Here we go. Let me see if I can. If I could get this all the way to the right width, that would be amazing. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we got Batgirls, and they don't say this is the finale here, but they do say that it's the finale in the last issue of the Beloved series. Michael Conrad has just been posting a lot recently on Twitter, like today, that Batgirls is not considered a failure, and the characters are all going to show up again soon, which gives me a lot of hope because Stephanie Brown is not currently appearing anywhere else. Cass has her miniseries, Babs is in Nightwing, and I'm sure she's going to be in Titans as well, but Steph is not anywhere else. I don't understand what they're doing with this last 3-issue arc about Gunhawk and Gun Bunny, but I do kind of like Gunhawk and Gun Bunny. We'll see how they are. Adventure continue. Oh, and I'm going to be buying this Marquez variant, and also I'm going to be buying the trade because I bought all the 2 trades so far, because I really like the incentive variants by Ryan Gonzalez, and there's a couple incentive variants that I really want to get for this last trade too. World's Finest. Black Adam is ending. Eddie Barrows is solicited for doing all the art. We'll see if that continues. An interesting final cover by John Jiang. Don't recognize his name. I don't know why they changed kind of last minute from Irvin Rodriguez, who was doing all the variants. Unfortunately, my shop stopped buying variants, but I like the main covers well enough. And there's an interesting tease. Priest has been playing with these new Akkadian or Sumerian type gods that he invented for this series, and he says that he's getting redemption, even though he's been saying there's no redemption. So I kind of like that. And obviously, Priest would love it if he could keep going. And I would too, because I really enjoyed this series. But I think that the failure of the movie really kind of put a damper on that. This is a series that I'm hoping does much better. Superman Lost. First issue came out last week. Really enjoyed it. I'm getting the Lee Weeks covers, but I am really enjoying these main covers. But yeah, if you like a darker, sort of more gritty Superman, similar to what Priest did with Deathstroke, I would recommend checking out this Lost. Not super happy that it's like super expensive, but that's the way it is. Interesting that Alan Scott, all multiverse Nations is making the Green Flame change in the first size. I mean, that would be an interesting meta plot, but honestly, I'd rather have more traditional adventure stories with Alan and his family and him interacting with the other lanterns as the veteran JSA lantern, sort of like he did when he was in Checkmate. I really like that. That's kind of my only real comics experience with Alan in the comics. Batman Scooby-Doo got Jim Gordon for the first time, Joker Man Who Stopped Laughing. This is my bet for where Steph is going after Batgirls ends, because she's already shown up in 2 of Matt Rosenberg's Jason series. More trades. Gotham Knights. So I watched that. I'm kind of annoyed that Steph was actually a really big character in that, but she did not have any she didn't have any real advertising for it, so that was annoying. Detective Comics, tons of variants. Swimsuit variant. Oh, it's only Batman though. Unfortunate. I like it better when they have Catwoman or Batgirl doing the swimsuit variants as well as Batman. That's what they did last time with. It was Batman last time, and it was Mikhail Janine doing Batman and Catwoman. That was really cute. We've got our Justice Society of America number 7. I feel like this has been solicited a billion times. At least they're not soliciting that Huntress variant for the 50 millionth time. Harley Quinn continues to do Harley Quinn things. Yeah. Feels like there's actually not that many books. Wildcat continues, lots more trades. Yes. Yeah, there's not actually that many books coming out in June. The line is coming down. As I said, there's 4 runs ending, 2 books ending, plus a mini series ending. So that's quite a lot ending. It feels like DC is trying to focus a bit more on ongoings. I'm kind of irritated that they started Green Arrow as an ongoing, and then they started Cyborg. No, they started Green Arrow as a miniseries and Cyborg as an ongoing. That should be reversed. But I have only read. I think it was like the New Age of Heroes or something, New Age of Justice, the one shot that kicked off both Stargirl and the new JSA miniseries. So I don't think I've actually read the current JSA. I haven't read any of Johns' old JSA. Wait, no, I read the first arc, and I thought it was really too violent because they had Nazis like literally burning children alive at picnics. So Jeff Johns just isn't for me for most writings. But I mean, to be fair, Gail Simone's lost a lot as a writer too. She used to be one of the best, and then she really lost something like 2008. So that brings us to the end of our solicitations. Thank you for watching. And if you comment, I will read it and respond. Have a good night.